So this is only showing our new technology that we launched in 2020 and 2021. So this is by no means everything that we have to offer on our Shelly mobile serving counters. With that, they come in 3 different finishes. We get a stainless steel. This is showing Shelly laminate. And then we have another that is a Shelly glass base, which is a fiberglass base. So depending on the specification, you can have all steel. You can do it with a pretty laminate, or you can do it with a fiberglass base. Again, showing an upgraded tray slide of solid surface. Typically in our price guide, you're going to see a stainless steel tray slide or a tubular tray slide, but we can upgrade everything to solid surfaces as needed or specified. One thing that I want to point out, lead time right now, depending on how much you upgrade on this, lead times are really good. They're running about 14 weeks at max. So take a look at that versus our other lines, because our other lines have extended lead times. Currently, right now, we're able to get this yet for the summer months. Okay? Oh yeah, yep. So, and all the technology that I tell you or show you right now is our newer stuff. It's not limited to, we have a lot of offerings, but I can do it in the Shelly serving lines. You can get it as a drop-in if your bases are by others, or we can do it in our EcoMark. So everything's...
But the EcoMark's still at 20 plus, right?
The EcoMark's at 49. So let's keep an eye on these ones.
Yeah, so we want to do steel, not glass. I mean,
You
steel,
can
not
do...
EcoMark.
Yes,
We want to get
do the mobile. Now, I had talked a little bit about the differences between EcoMart and Shelly. From the top, all the technologies on the top are going to be exactly the same. What you're going to miss out on a little bit is your refrigerated storage capacity. EcoMark has side mount compressors with door drawer options. Shelly doesn't have those options. We have an insert for refrigeration, and that's about it, or we have an insert from heated storage. But as far as having the full refrigerated capacity to store stuff, that's the main differences between Eco and Shelly. And plus, Shelly is really designed to be self-contained modules that have cord plug caster, so they're all mobile. And they interlock by a key slot, and I can show you up here. A male-female that interlock here. So if you push that through, that's how you interlock the units together to make one line. Daisy chain is what we call it in our price guide. We'll call piggyback electric. Yep. So yes, you'll daisy chain, one to plug into the other, and then one source at the end.
Single plug that may be a larger.
It's probably going to be 100 amp by the time you do hot, cold, and everything else needed. But yeah, it's going to be one at the end. So this is our Fresh Genius. If you want to come over, I'll kind of explain it a little bit to you. And you can't see it because it's way at the back. But basically, there's a little capsule that has these plates in it. And when you put the power to it, you have a positive charge plate, a negative charge plate, and then a special coated plate. And as water passes through this capsule, it creates an ozone. So ozone is a bacteria-killing, fighting type of, it's no chemicals, it's just in the water. So the thought process is to spray off countertops. I wouldn't necessarily design it in a line like this. I would do a little self-contained unit because it holds the fresh water, and then there's another tank for dirty water. You don't have to design it with a sink, but I would design it so you can go to the schools and you can spray off lockers, or you can go in the classrooms and you can spray off desks and chairs. It's just water.
And it's a mist. They're not having to dry anything out.
You can dry it. Depends on your water. This isn't powered up right now, so it's not giving a good mist.
Right.
It can be sprayed on food, toys, everything. It's not harmful. Do not drink it though. It's not to be drank.
Kill the bacteria.
Yeah, and the ozone lasts about 15 minutes. So if you spray it on there, leave it on for a little bit, wash it off, and you should sanitize your equipment. This is the fun one. Everybody know this one. This is our Flexi top unit. If you feel this, it's hot, and this has a nice frost pattern. So, and even if you feel underneath here, there is no heat transfer. It's not hot at all. It's cold to the touch. So very simple. this control down here, it says hot, off, cold. And each one is independently controlled. So at any given time, I can switch this to be a frost top and leave them both frost top, or I can switch this to be hot and this to be a frost top. So they're interchangeable however you want to run it that day.
What does the time look like? So if I have it as a frost top,
Yeah.
and if I have it as a hot top, and I want to make it a frost top,
120 minutes
120 minutes.
is what we're going to tell you.
And then
Give it
same
about-
for much cold.
Yeah, I would give it anywhere from an hour and a half to 2 hours to get that hot to
Great.
cold, because depending on the heat, so the frost top out of the factory is preset at 25. There's no changing. We set that because we want that nice frost pattern no matter what, right? The hot, it can be adjusted from 0 up to high. So that temperature range is all the way up to 180 degrees. So for me to tell you it's going to be 200 or 2 hours all the time,
Right.
just depends on what the temperatures are, right?
So you would actually suggest before customers turn these on, both at a neutral, like room temperature, know what you're going to do for that day, and then is it
Well-
possible to switch from lunch to dinner?
Yeah,
Switch that
you can
up?
switch it anytime. So at 2 o'clock, you just switch them.
Yeah.
Switch them anytime you want.
Okay.
You just got to give that time then for it to cool off and get that nice frost pattern back. These are sized for trace sheet pans, so 18 by 26. This one here is a 2-sheet pan, and then we have a single or a 3. So we have one a little longer and one a little shorter. They do come in tiers. I don't know how it looks in auto quotes. I had someone question how to quote it out of auto quotes, so I'm going to look into it. But it comes in 1 tier, and you can do 1 tier with an overshelf, 2 tiers, and an overshelf. So everything's kind of specified: 1 tier, 2 tier, overshelf. You don't have to have the overshelf. Lights are also an option. You don't have to have the lights. So when you're pricing it out, look at that.
What does the replacement look like? Because a lot of people love our frost tops because they're so easily replaceable. So you can just take one out and put one in. So what if one of those goes out after many years of faithful service? What does the replacement look like?
So I don't think it wouldn't, this is a built-in, so you'd have to take the whole top off this unit.
Okay.
But built-ins were like that before with our other frost tops. We have them as drop-ins, so if you want to do them as drop-in, that's easy to
We can
pick up.
quote these to say drop in, or
Sure.
these must be
Drop-in or built-in.
Sorry.
If we are doing the counter, we'll always do a build-in.
Okay.
And then we have drop-ins. If you want our counter, but you want to specify a drop-in, you can do that. We just need to know that. Along the same line, we have what we call a Flexi Well, and it's got the same type of thought process. Each well is individually controlled with hot, cold, and off. Now this is shown a 3 well. We have a 1 all the way to 6 well. So every well, if you do a 6 well unit, you'll have 6 different controls, right? As you can see in here, it has an immersion heater. With that immersion heater, that means in the hot mode, it has to be ran with water. That heating element has to be covered with water in the hot mode.
I'm assuming that there's no dry.
At this point, there's no try. I will talk about that. Yeah. So there's these clips that come standard in each well. And during the hot mode, it can be flushed to the top. During the cold mode, it has to be recessed 2 inches, and this is all due to NSF. Now this is phase 1. Phase 2 is in test right now for a dry well technology, a Liquitech, which is more of a flush mount cold, and then it will have a freeze option. But that's all in test right now, so I'm guessing it's not going to launch till like 4th quarter of 2022. That's my guess. Each well then would be plumbed to an individual valve, gate valve, and then it has a master that we plumb out the bottom, but if you want it to stop inside there to put a bucket under there, then no problem, just tell us. But normally we'll plumb, our plumbing always comes out the bottom unless you tell us differently. On our normal, we would only do 1 master gate valve or ball valve, whatever specified. But Michigan spec, where I'm from, every well has to be individual gates. Michigan always had that spec. I don't know why. So this one's a little different than what we would do on a normal hot food table. This is kind of like Michigan spec. but again, you can do it whatever they want to pay for. We're just putting a gate valve on it, right? Flexi, a lot of people don't know that we make our own Flexi Well or Flexi Shields. We have a full line of Flexi Shields, counter protectors, sneeze guards, full glass front protectors. So what's different about this one is you can specify one Flexi Shield to do everything that's needed on a serving counter. As you see here, it's a sneeze guard in an NSF position. It's approved NSF. You can push it down, so it's just like a pass-through area, or you can go down one more step with it, and it'll be a full glass front. So with this unit, every position's NSF approved, and it's one thing you have to specify, and it will meet all the needs required. So let's go back to this piece then. So in the past, we've had, this wouldn't necessarily be in a serving counter anyway, or either. So this is just a module that we are demonstrating the fact that we can build in garland, inducts, or cooking equipment into a DELFIELD line and have the regulatory, because they were always ELT and DELFIELD's always UL, and we didn't have the right approvals to build these into our equipment. So when we had customers specify or requiring it, they would have to source them themselves and drop them in, or we would just have to do a countertop. But now they're nicely built in. So you can use your imagination on this. This is showing a rail for condiments. You can
Great prep state, like omelets.
omelets. No, yeah, you can do omelets. You can do saute station. You can do a crepe station. The pans, they don't have to be here. If you want to move these over and put a nice cold pan here, so it's workable. Just design it your own way. This is just showing you our capabilities now. Anything goes. Yeah, I can open it. So DELFIELD had milk coolers until like 2017. We redesigned them with our new Green Genius refrigeration system, which means DELFIELD's R290 refrigeration package. Now we meet the DOE requirements. There is an air curtain design, so we're able to run this unit and it maintains the NSF temperatures for 2 hours with those lids open. They are insulated lids, so closed, they can stay closed all night long. Comes standard with a lot, so there's no reason to take product out at night. Leave your milk in there, lock up your covers, and off you go.
And we go end to end, air curtain wise?
Yes. Yep. So you feel that blowing over?
Yeah, no, so you can feel a change too when you start to reach in.
Yep. So we have 3 different sizes. There's an 8, a 12, and a 16, and those sizes are sized or numbers of how many crates it holds. So they actually hold the milk crate versus transferring to a different type of mechanism or crate inside. They actually hold the actual crates.
This is the small one.
This is the large one. This is a 16, and we're stacking them.
Oh, yeah, so 2, 4, 6, 8. So the other one would be half this.
So I think
12, 16.
I think the 8 is like 42 or 46, and the 12 is like 58, and then this one's like 60 something. So no, we do not have a dual-sided unit. We only have a single-sided unit. Yeah. So as you see here, we put laminate on it to match the serving counter. Typically it's stainless unless you specify a laminate. We also can put a tray slide on it, so if you want to build it into that and have it match up with the tray slide, we can do that as well. It doesn't interfere with the covers at all because they slide down this way, so your tray slide would be out. So what we're showing here, not only are we showing DELFIELD EcoMart prep station with doors and drawers, no, what this one actually is featuring is the perfect scale. And basically, what it does is it measures the amount of cheese that you put on a pizza, and it will tick up as you're putting cheese on, and it will tell you when it turns red, that means you have enough cheese on that pizza to move forward. So it's actually designed to help the the customer cost control of their product, right?
Most expensive thing on the plate.
So they're going, right, and so we have a cheese grate or a catch plate here. It can be refrigerated. We do have that as an option of a refrigerated. cheese grate. This one's ambient, but really if you have a customer, the opportunity is going to have to be pretty large, 150 to 100 opportunity. But as far as giving them the option of controlling costs with cheese or any other product ingredients, that's what the software's for.
This also means that a customer can speed up their service and not have to count pepperonis that go on. They can can freehand it if they so choose.
Right. So what they would do is the perfect company would come out and help you specify and calibrate their pan, spec of what their ingredients are, and then help you do what you need to do to help save costs. Liquitech has a die stamp because it's a lot like a hot food table. And it will look just like that, and you won't see any recess or anything on it.
Got it.
All mechanicals have this, what we call a V-die, and it's bent into here, and so it's recessed just enough to hold NSF temperatures for DELFIELD. It's not, no one said it had to be 2 to 4 to 6 inches recess. It's how you did during your testing to meet the NSF temperatures.
Right.
So ours is roughly 2 inches. Some are more, some are 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is about average. But if you see a V-die in a pan, that means it's mechanically cooled.
Right. Well, that's why I assumed.
Yeah.
But I'm still a new guy, so I've got
Yeah. That type of unit right here, because the wells have to be deeper and wider to hold the immersion heater plus your refrigerator, that we couldn't use a V-die because then your pans wouldn't fall through. And so that's why you see our bet.
Right.
We couldn't do it on this type of technology. So, these come in various sizes. You can get a 3-door, you can get 3-section, whatever length you need, we can do it. All the way up to 132 inches maybe is our longest one, but we have the capability of doing it.
Got it.
Any of your customers have a need for autofill?
Sometimes.
Yes.
So we redesigned everything, and if I had this hooked up to water, it'd be a better demonstration, but this is the best I have. So it's very easy to use. It has like a 30-second delay once you hit it, but it will fill this to the right height to meet that sensor, which is right there in that pan, in like 3.5 minutes. So and then it maintains that the level that's needed a lot quicker, and it's a lot more durable, and it's so much better than what we had in the past. So some areas don't let you put autofill, and other places don't let you put a countertop faucet. So you have to have the option. It depends. Like this type of equipment, you probably wouldn't need to do either because it has to be hard plumbed, and you can't move it around unless you can put a flexi hose on it, but you can't be as versatile as you can with EcoMark. So this is going to be more of like a stationary type unit, but at least you guys, if you had questions or concerns with our autofill in the past, we did redesign it, and it's 100%, 1,000% better. Yes, because you will get corrosion and stuff in your pans. That's the number one thing too. That's why we're going to show you the dry well. So because of people's water and the corrosion, our ESP, which is our 500-watt hot food well, it's right here. We specify it without a drain, maintains NSF temperatures, but it's more efficient to be ran dry. Because like a cow rod heater is at the bottom of a 1,000-watt, and you're putting that water in there to steam up around the pans in order to maintain temperature. This unit, you can't see it, I wish you could, has a vulcanized heat pad on all 4 sides plus the bottom. So the heat source is on all sides in the bottom, not like that 1,000-watt. So that way it's heating on all sides and it's maintaining. So there are different product densities that do maintain or hold differently. So all I say is you have to test it both ways. So another thing about this specifying for school, it doesn't have the heat transfer that it had the 1,000-watt. So if you have a school where it's very hot to the touch all around, this doesn't get that heat transfer because the heat source is right there. So you don't get, this isn't hot all the way around. So for young kids and when they're self-serving, definitely something to think about. And then the steam, when you're taking out, switching pans from one to the other, you don't get that steam flying in people's faces. Giving them bad hair day dues because they got steamed out. Yeah, this actually can come standard with the drain as well. It's for cleaning out for the most part. Or if it's not working for them and they think they have to add water, add water. Add water. More power to them. They can do it.